For thousands of years, we've been told to chase after happiness. But what if I told you that the chase itself, that very pursuit, is the one great mistake that's actually keeping us from it?
It's a question we've all asked ourselves, right? We work so hard for it, we plan our whole lives around it, we dream about it. So why does it feel like no matter what we get, no matter what we achieve, that real, deep, lasting contentment is always just over the next hill?
It's this crazy paradox. You get the job, you buy the house, you find the partner, and for a second you think, yes, I'm here. But that feeling, it fades, doesn't it? And the goalpost just moves. All of a sudden you find yourself running faster and faster just to feel like you're standing still.
And this, right here, brings us to the heart of the problem, what we're going to call the happiness trap. It's this endless, completely exhausting cycle that so many of us are caught in.
Just look at how this breaks down the chase. It's perfect. We think we're running towards a final destination, right? Whether it's wealth or fame or even some perfect idea of heaven. But what do we actually find when we get there? Just a bigger desire. The desire for more wealth. The desire for greater fame. The chase literally never, ever ends.
This quote just nails it. The real thrill, it turns out, is in the wanting, not the having. The second a goal is actually reached, its magic just vanishes, and our mind immediately jumps to the next shiny object on the horizon. The satisfaction is always fleeting.
Okay, and this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. We treat happiness and unhappiness like they're total opposites, but they're not. They are fundamentally linked. They're a package deal. By desperately running towards pleasure, you're automatically running away from pain. And that act of running away is what gives the pain its power and guarantees it's always right there with you. So if the chase is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it requires a pretty radical shift in how we think. It means taking a much more, you could say, scientific approach to the whole thing.
So the new strategy is simple, but honestly, it's profound. Stop trying to add some imaginary feeling you call happiness. Instead, get logical. Be a scientist of your own mind. Investigate the real, tangible thing you're actually feeling, your unhappiness. What is it, really? Where's it coming from?
This analogy just makes the logic so clear. Think about it. If you were sick, you wouldn't just wander around chasing a mythical idea of perfect health. No way. A doctor would diagnose the specific cause of the illness, the virus, the bacteria, and then work to remove it. Health is just what's naturally left over when the disease is gone.
And that right there is the key takeaway. Happiness isn't something you go out and find or acquire. It's your default setting. It's the peace and contentment that's already inside you, but it's just buried under all these layers of unhappiness. The work isn't about building something new, it's about excavation.
Okay, so if we're excavating, what are we actually trying to remove? Well, the source material points to two huge obstacles, two types of stones, let's say, that we've allowed to completely clutter up our minds. I love this metaphor. Imagine your mind is a field, a garden. Before you can plant any seeds of real truth or insight, you have to clear the ground first. And right now, for most of us, our fields are pretty rocky and barren.
So the first type of big stone is what's called borrowed knowledge. These are all the secondhand truths, the beliefs, the ideas we've just accepted without any direct personal experience. They're like chains we don't even know we're wearing.
And you see this stuff everywhere. Religious scriptures, political ideologies, cultural traditions, they all offer these neat prepackaged answers that save us the trouble of thinking for ourselves. But the catch is, they also prevent us from ever discovering our own truth.
There's this great old parable about a man who gets into a boat one night and just rows with all his might for hours and hours. By morning, he is exhausted, but he hasn't moved an inch. And why? He never untied the boat from the dock. And that's us, so many of us, rowing like mad toward the truth, but still anchored by beliefs we never once thought to question.
Now, the second major obstacle is suppression. And this is the internal war we're constantly waging against ourselves. Every time we feel an energy that we've been taught is bad, like anger or fear or desire, we try to bury it. We push it down into the basement of our minds and pretend it's not there.
But here's the thing about energy. You can't destroy it. It's a law of physics. When you suppress it, it doesn't just go away. It gets twisted. It festers. It turns ugly. The alternative is transformation. Instead of fighting your anger, you get curious about it. You channel that fiery energy into passion or courage. You work with yourself, not against yourself.
So what happens when you remove these stones? You know, when you free yourself from all that borrowed knowledge and you stop suppressing your own nature, well, you create a mind that is finally ready to see what's real.
And three qualities just naturally start to emerge from this clear field. First, you get freedom, the ability to actually think for yourself. Then comes simplicity, a mind that isn't all tangled up in the ego's games. And finally, emptiness. And that's not a bad thing, it's not a void, it's a clean, open space, free from all that inner conflict. This is the fertile ground where truth can finally take root.
And this choice we all face is captured in this one last beautiful story. An old king wants to choose his successor, so he gives his two sons what seems like an impossible challenge. With just a tiny bit of money, find a way to fill an entire empty palace by nightfall.
So, the first prince, thinking very literally, spends the whole day hauling cart after cart of garbage and trash into the palace until it's physically stuffed with filth. But the second prince, he waits until dark. He walks into the silent, empty palace and simply lights a single candle. And instantly, its light fills every single corner of that vast space, effortlessly.
And that, right there, is the choice we face every single day. We can try to fill the emptiness inside of us with more stuff, more information, more distractions, the garbage of the world. Or we can simply light the lamp of our own awareness and let its light fill our inner space completely and effortlessly.
And ultimately, this just redefines the whole spiritual quest, doesn't it? It's not about following some external rules or doctrines. True religion, in this sense, is simply the journey of discovering who you really are underneath all that noise.
So we'll end with this question. We spend our entire lives trying to improve ourselves, to add new skills, to become a better version of me. But what if that's the great mistake? What if the real journey is one of subtraction, of letting go of everything that isn't really you, just so you can finally see the perfection that was there, waiting all along?